Why, hello there. Today I will be reading some dramatic readings from my fourth grade self. I stumbled upon this book just a few minutes ago, and to preface this, I would say if I were to put my fourth grade experience into a couple words, it would be very unique. I had some pretty crazy teachers and did some pretty whack shit in elementary school. So, if this might be just a little bit of a eye-opening? I don't know. Anyway, the first story I will be reading is about, well, actually, should I even preface it? The first reading I will be reading is a dramatic story about what happened to me and my classmates that made me want to, quote-unquote, kill my teacher. Let us begin. The day it felt, oh my god, that was horrible. The whole day, it felt like my ears were turned off. All I saw were mouths moving up and down, up and down. My ears were not working through math, gym, and lunch. Suddenly I saw a mouth open. I think they were yelling. Maybe someone got hurt, but no, it looked like they were yelling at Mr. Pachi. It looked like we were in a classroom. There were chairs lined up, like he was ready to spank us, and people were crying. All of a sudden, click, they were back on. My ears. Mr. Pachi, how could you? What was happening? Then the kid yelled, you lied, you lied. We were talking about this road trip. We were going on a road trip all the way across the country in a car. The two most ridiculous things were, number one, us kids were going to drive the car, and number two, we were going for 25 days. We were going to fly to California, and this was our plane. The plane was us sitting on cold, rusty green chairs and the whiteboard. Flying in this is as impossible as a flying pig. One kid was in tears. Mr. Pachi, how could you? We trusted you. For 2 weeks. They were actually going to let. Oh, fuck. Let me restart that part. One kid was in tears. Mr. Pachi, how could you? We trusted you for 2 weeks. That we were actually going, and you let us down. They were as cold as the Arctic tundra, as white as the snow. I knew it wasn't real, but I thought there was a little bit of a chance that it might be real. Just as a backstory, I 100% thought that this was a real trip. I told my parents that I was going on a 25-day road trip, and we were driving. We had different cars. And, my parents, of course, did not believe me, but I was so convinced that I was like, nope, and they're like, you don't know how to drive, and I was like, well, he said we could learn it very easy. And my brother at the time was in second grade, started crying because he was going to miss me so much, so my teacher told him that he could fly in and visit me in I think it was Arizona, because that was our route there. And after we found out that he was lying, in after school that day, me and my friends kept making replicas of the plane with us and Mr. Pachi in it, who was my teacher, and would just crash the plane and kill him. So yeah, there's that. This next reading is about me and my friends finishing our math notebooks. You know how you had those to math textbooks, but with a lot of detail. Okay. Done, I blurted out. A holler of Me Too's filled the classroom. I gently put my math journal down, while Eric slapped his math journal down like he was mad at us. Isidore, Lydia, and I zoomed to Mr. Pachi, while Eric took his time and slowly dragged behind. Thump, thump, thump. That was the sound of our feet pounding the rough, cold, hard floor. Mr. Pachi was lounging in his chair, daydreaming. Mr. Pachi, we said over and over, like a broken record. We skidded to a stop right at Mr. Pachi's heels. We finished our math journals, I almost screamed. My face was lighting up with excitement, the glow as bright as the sun. Shh, he hissed. Spit flew out of his mouth. They're having a math test. Oops. But Mr. Pachi, we actually finished, we whispered. That's amazing, he replied. So, just to preface this, or just not preface, I guess, finish it. We were proud because we were in the advanced math group that Mr. Pachi literally made up for us, me and 3 of my friends. And so while everyone else was taking a math test, we just could go off and do math problems in our math journals. So, okay. Now we will be moving on to my poems. For any of you who don't know, I am quite the poet, especially in 4th grade. The descriptions were endless, to say the least. Okay, this one's a little bit of a tongue twister, but here we go. So much depends upon a disgusting, dirty rock rolling into the river, just letting go of a 4-year-old red-cheeked boy's tiny, small hands. I think, reflecting on this, that it was in the point of view of the dirty rock, because the dirty rock was letting go of the boy's hand. So, very interesting. Alright, let's continue. Oh, shoot. This one is chock full of descriptive words. I don't think it has a title. Sweetness Summertime. Slippery... Oh, no, it does have a title. The title is Sweetness Summertime. Slippery, slimy, greening leaves, swaying, roaring, eagles perching on the glazed black porch. Okay, that was beautiful, if I do say so myself. The next reading, my next poem is called 3 Habits. It says, listen, open wide, bite down, sister, ouch, rushing, crisscross, hanging beside grave, seeing egg muscles, word girl jumping, 3 habits. So, if I were to analyze this poem, I think that the point of it was to talk about 3 of my habits. The first one, I don't know if I understood the word, what habits meant, but, the first thing, my brother definitely bit me. That was the first part. The second one was a rushing crisscross hanging beside a grave, which I think crisscross meant a cross. But I am open to more explanations on that. Seeing egg muscles, really could not tell you about that one. And word girl jumping was that TV show Word Girl. So, she's jumping, guys. Fun times. Okay, I think this one might be my favorite. It's about a ping pong ball. I'm a sphere in white. I wonder if I have ever been in a famous ping pong match. I hear people cheering for me. I see my fans. I want to be a millionaire. I'm a sphere in white. I pretend to walk down the red carpet. I feel the slap of a paddle hitting me. I touch the championship medal. I worry about getting slapped too hard. I cry when I lose. I'm a sphere in white. I understand that I can't always win. I say that ping pong balls should be treated with care. I dream to see my family again. I try to win and make my fans happy. I hope that I will be in a newspaper. I'm a sphere in white. So that concludes my dramatic readings from 4th grade. These are some pictures. This is my journal. I Mod Podged it, so that tells you anything about it. Yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and have a fun Hump Wednesday.